Hello, everyone. My name is Brian, aka DJ Code Red. I am a independent record label executive. I will be doing a presentation on music licensing and how to license music from an independent record label. As I was scouring the internet, I could not find a presentation that bridged the gap between the music label and the marketing department. So, what I decided to do is I said, if people like my music and they want to get direct contact with me or with other independent record labels, then this may help guide them into actually licensing their music. All right, so let's get this presentation started. Let's talk about the table of contents. Today, what we'll go over is the About Us, what is music licensing, sync licensing versus master use licensing, things to consider, our main services, our pricing table, testimony, meet the CEO, and contact information. All right, let's get this thing started. About Us, about DJ Code Red, Hitmaker. That's me. DJ Code Red, an independent American composer, audio engineer, songwriter, and producer who has been making waves in the music industry for over 20 years. With a career that has taken him around the world, Code Red has collaborated with numerous artists and companies, showcasing his talents on a global stage. I help people create their vision through music. That's who it is that I am. That's what it is that I try to accomplish, okay? Let's talk about what music licensing is. For the most part, music licensing means that the owner of the song gives permission for part or all of the song to be used in a TV show, movie, commercial, or other format where music is played along with visuals. The process includes clearing the rights. Prices may vary depending on the company, and licensing agreements are usually non exclusive. All right, so what is music licensing? Hey, I want to use your song with this thing. What does it take? Clearing the rights, how much money, who's the owner? That's how I can explain it in its most basic form, but it's very complicated, as you will see shortly. So, in order to actually license the music, in order to actually obtain the license for the music, you need two licenses. You need a sync license and a master use license. So I'm going to discuss what both of these licenses is and give you some scenarios on how they are obtained, okay? So let's talk about the sync licensing. To use a song in a movie, TV show, or advertisement, you'll need a sync license from the owner of the songwriting copyright, typically the music publisher. All right. There are two copyrights that needs to be registered with the U.S. Copyright Department. Okay. There's a songwriting copyright and a sound recording copyright. All right. So in order to be able to use the song that you need, you got to obtain two licenses, the sync license and the master use license. Let me go into this master use real quick for you. The master use license, a company that wants to use a specific recording of a song in a movie, TV, or film needs a master use license from the record company or whoever is the owner of the sound recording copyright. All right, so that's what I just showed you. There's a sound recording copyright and a songwriting copyright. All right. And in order to use this song in your visuals and do it commercially, you have to obtain both of those. Both agreements are needed to properly license a song in a movie, TV, film, or advertisement. Okay. Here's what happens in a major label system and then versus what happens in an independent label system. In a major system, there may be 10 to 12 writers on one song. And then there may be two or three publishers on that one song as well, or maybe one. It doesn't. It depends. What ends up happening is in order for you to clear the rights to that one song, you have to go and get contracts and agreements from each one of those songwriters, and then you have to turn around and get agreement for the recording for each one of those publishers. So when you have that and you're trying to get it from a major label system, it could be costly, but it also could take time to get in contact with those individuals. What typically happens in a independent record label system like the one that I have is that there is only one person to clear the copyright for the songwriting and the sound recording. All right. So if you decide that you want to do business with me, you want me to create you a song, or you want to use one of my songs, then I am the one who would clear those pretty much right away and get you whatever information you need, whatever tools you need to make sure that your project is ready to go. As long as all of the other paperwork is involved, but I can give you both of those copyrights, no problem, so you can understand, so you can get your project up and running and commercially ready to go pretty much relatively quickly. All right, so keep that in mind. You need those two copyrights. All right, here's some things to consider when you are approaching a independent record label like myself. Okay, contract negotiations can be very complicated in music, especially if there are many players involved. But usually when you have an independent record label, clearing a record may be easier and faster to obtain a license. However, here are some things you should consider when trying to clear a song. Be mindful, this may come at a cost. We're going to talk about payment. How much will it cost to clear a record? Now, you may be saying to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to just go to the independent record label and I'm going to get them $1,500. And I might say yes or no, but I need to consider what it is you're doing with the record and how you are using the record. So the $1,500 may turn into $15,000 really quickly. And I'm going to tell you how here in a minute. But the main thing I want you to know is that when you are approaching an independent record label, you have to come with a cost. You have to come with a budget. If you have some money involved, most independent record labels will work with you depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So the first thing that we want to talk about, or you want to consider, is the term. Okay, the term is, how long do you want to use the song? Is this a 1-year contract or is this a 10-year contract? Is this a 10-day contract or is this a 10-month contract? Like me as an independent record label, I have to consider how long you plan on using the record. All right. If you're going to use the record for 10 years and you want to use it in multiple projects, then $1,500 is not going to work. So I would have to renegotiate with you and say, okay, well, $1,500 wouldn't work. This is how I will actually structure the deal. And I would say, how about we do this and put this on here, and then we can use it this way, this way, this way, this way. And then that's how we would be able to negotiate the term of the usage. Okay. But 10 years, $1,500, that may not work. That may not work. Okay. So keep that in mind. And that also comes with payment. If you're going to use, is this a one-time usage or is this a usage that you will use in multiple tracks? Because then if you're going to use this in multiple projects, then a royalty will be assessed to that when you come to an independent agency. Okay. Or, a reoccurring licensing will come into effect. If you say, I want to use it in this video, I want to use it in this video. Oh, I found a way to use it in this video. Then those ideas start to add up in cost. So keep that in mind. Usage. Now, this is very important. Will the song be used as background music, main title music, music with a company logo, etc.? These are important because I have to understand what it is that you're going to be doing with the music. Are you using it as background music? We're just talking right now. It's just nothing but some background noise for us. Or is it a main title music? Is this a theme song to your sitcom? Or is this a theme song to the intro to your movie, or is this how will you be using this, or will this be used with your logo? We all know this one right here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That even though that 4 or 5 second melody is it's very simple, we know with the association to it. So are you building a brand or a campaign around this song? And if you are, or this idea, and if you are, then I have to negotiate how often you can use it and how you can use it. As you use it for like branding or theme song and sitcoms, the prices start to go up as well as the royalties start to go up. So keep that in mind that, hey, if you're going to build a brand, or it's the main title, or if this is the end title of your movie or product, then those prices will start to add up. Right. So understand what you want to do with the music. When you come to me, understand what you want to do to the music, do with the music, and then I can be able to quote you the price for what it is that you're trying to do. Revisions. Now, if you go through my catalog and you say, you know what, Brian, man, I got a song here I got a project here that'll go with this song. But the thing is that this word and these words need to be changed to these words. Then that can happen. I don't have a problem doing that. But it then will come at a price. So revisions do come at a price. So understand that I can help you change the words, or I can change the flow, or I can add more instruments, or you might say I need a woman voice to do this, I need a choir to do this, I need those things I would have to consider in my revisions, but it will come at a cost. We'll discuss that later. And then ownership. Who owns the song? Is this non-exclusive or is this exclusive? Now, typically what happens is these are non-exclusive agreements, which will be cheaper for you as the marketing department to do a non-exclusive deal. But if you are building a campaign around a specific song or a specific sound that we have created, then you may want to consider an exclusive license. But understand that you may have to, the price is going to be much more higher, as a much more higher premium to be an exclusive owner of this record. Now, what does that mean? That means that if a competitor sees the same record and they say, I want to use that, and I want to take that idea, and they want to solicit me because they know that I wrote the song for that idea, then I can sell them the exact same piece of music, the same music that I wrote for you. Because we're in a non-exclusive agreement, I can give it to someone else and I can profit off of that. But if you say nobody else can use this but us, then I have to charge you a premium for that plus a reoccurring license. Okay, so keep that in mind when we talk about ownership. Who will be able to use the music? These are like 5 things that you should consider: payment, the term, the usage, revisions, and ownership. 5 things that you want to consider. Okay. Now, let's talk about our main services here. We specialize in multimedia production ranging from songwriting to visual concepts. We curate top tier hip hop and dance music performances to place inside your marketing material to ensure audience have an immersive experience with your content. All right, top tier music production, seamless production, custom songwriting, and audio engineering. In my custom songwriting, I tailored specifically hip hop and dance music concepts. All right, that's strictly drafted for your idea. So you may come in and say, look, I need you to write a song about this, and this is how I want it to go. This is the song, this is the ideas that I have, and then I go back and I try to draft up a concept based off of what it is, and we keep tweaking it and tailoring it so you'd be like, that's it. Now, that's just songwriting portion of it. We also do music production, top tier music production, competitive with the current music trends. So whatever the current music trends are in the hip hop and the dance music world, we have those music selections right here in our studio. So we're competitive with the big labels. We just don't have a big name, okay? But we're building that right now. Audio engineering. I give you broadcast quality production ready for commercial use. When you receive my project, when you receive my files, it's ready to go. You could place it right on the distribution platforms and start playing with it. So that's what I want you to understand when you decide to go with the independent music record label executive here, DJ Code Red. When you decide to go with our company, you'll have a custom song. You'll have a custom song written product. You'll have the highest quality of music production, and it'll be broadcast ready. It'll be ready to start playing with when you say that's it, and I deliver it. It's ready to go. Now let's talk about our pricing plan. To build the custom track, just to build the custom track, the consulting fee is $100 per hour. During the consulting fee, this is where I have to develop the concept. This is where I have to listen to your ideas, and I have to figure out if it's something that I can accomplish or if it's something that I can accomplish. And then I have to tell you what it will take for me to accomplish this idea. And typically this comes with the vocals and the instrumental, depending on what it is that you're looking for. You may just be looking for instrumental, you may be looking for vocals, you may be looking for a complete project, and you want to use both. So when I complete the complete the consultation, then I will quote you a price. See, what you may say to yourself is, all right, DJ, I want to put together a hip hop song, but I need a woman's voice. And then I want you to put together a choir. And then with the choir, I need you to bring in a live guitar player, and I need you to do some other things. And then I have to say, okay, this is what it's going to cost for me to get from point A to point B. This is what it's going to cost in studio time and finder's fees. And then I have to pay the artist whatever their fee is. And then we have to build the concept, and then I have to send you the concept, and then you have to approve the concept, and then you have to tell me if there needs to be revisions. And I have to go back and do the cycle again and find the artist and tell them we need a revision, or well, here's their revision fee. And then I have to come back and give you another edit, and then you say yes, and then we mix it and master it to make sure it's a complete project. That's basically the whole thing. But in order for me to get there, I need to know the concept. And I can't, and you may say to yourself, well, we got $1,500. And I say, and I listen to your concept, and I might say $1,500 is not what it's going to take to build that. You're going to have to bring it down some. And you may have to bring it down some. I don't know. But the consulting fee will allow me to at least have a conversation with you and tell you if I can and cannot do the project. And it'll also let you know that this is how much it's going to cost. All right. Licensing. You can license an existing track. All right. Licensing start at about $500 for an existing track. This is a one license per project. So you may say, I just need to use it for this, and that's it. All right. And you can request revisions, but it will come at a cost. Now, this is starting at $500. That is at the most basic level. This is for the $500 is for like a student project that you need for your class, that you want to maybe put into a couple of film festivals or something like that, more amateur work. Then that's what those licenses start at. So understand, if you find something that you like on my website and you might say, well, I want to license this, but this is who I am. You're an advertising agency. No, the $500 licensing fee is not gonna work, because we don't know how you're gonna use the music. Are you using the music in a trailer? Are you using the music in a film, a full-fledged production film? Are you using it for your social media? Those are the things that we have to consider when we are producing a licensing fee. So understand the $500 licensing fee starting at $500. That's more for the student filmmakers. And it goes up from there depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Now, you may need music business consulting. Maybe you want to learn more about the music business. You want to build your own label. You want to understand royalties, distribution, and more. I can help you with that from an independent record label point of view. Now, there may be other things you want to consider when you're looking at more of a major label system, but from the independent label, I can tell you how to do all of these things. Okay. Now, some of the testimonies that has been going on. Brian did a great job for me, excellent communicator and very responsive. He helped take a concept and drive it over the goal line. That was from Big Daddy New. That was one of my music clients. Okay, these testimonies that I have right here, they are from Fiverr. Okay, so if you want to go over to Fiverr and look at all of the reviews that I have inside the music business, then you can definitely go over here, check them out, and if you need more references, you can find a lot of references there. All right. Now, meet our CEO and founder. That's me, Brian DJ Code Red Williams. All right. Our CEO and founder is the driving force behind Red Horizon Records, is a visionary leader with a passion. That is me. I love what it is that I'm doing here. I love the music business. I love all of these things. Okay. My experience pioneered efficient music production systems. My system that I have developed will allow me to turn projects around within a day. So from the first keyboard stroke to the mix and mastering stage and a whole complete production, my system will allow me to do that within 24 hours. Do I do that often? No, because I have to sometimes take my time and I have to re-edit and revise and do certain things. But if we're on a time crunch and you need something tomorrow, it's possible, but that comes at a premium. I am the top rated and prorated seller on Fiverr. Yes, I was able to make it into the top 1%, I believe, on Fiverr to be both top rated and prorated in the music industry. So that means that Fiverr hand selected me to be one of their top rated performers on the platform, and I'm still using that to this day. All right, I'm a self-taught musician, songwriter, and engineer. Yes, I learned how to do all of these things on my own: engineering, music production, and songwriting. I have taught myself how to do all three of these things, as well as learned the music business. Okay. I've expanded Red Horizon Records reach to new members. Yes, I have done a lot of things when it comes to Red Horizon Records. I've been able to work with companies and artists from all over the world, and also here locally where I am. So we've been working really, really hard, and we've been really putting things together to make sure that we reach new audiences. And I hope this reaches you as well. So here, if you want to contact me, here's my contact information. My office hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can get in contact with me through phone. That's my phone number right there. Or you can follow me on all my social medias. Check out my website, djcodered.com, or you can email me. What this does here is as djcodered.com. If you go to djcodered.com, you can listen to the records that I have already, and you can say, oh, I want to license this, and then you can call me up and say, hey, how much would it cost to license this, and I will put that together for you. All right, so if you need anything, definitely get in contact with me. If you have any questions about how this music licensing works, you can get in contact with me. If you just want to chit chat, you can get in contact with me. It doesn't really matter. I'm just here to help, and I want to make sure that people know who I am and what it is that I do and how they can get in contact with me if they have any more questions. Okay. With that being said, that is the presentation. And if you have any questions, let me know. I love you all, and I will see you on the next one.